All right, class, let's start with a little context. For the last 20 years, Nvidia has been the backbone of modern AI computing. Their GPUs and the CUDA platform became the engine behind nearly every major AI breakthrough. If you hear about ChatGPT, large language models, or modern AI research, chances are very high that Nvidia hardware and CUDA were involved somewhere in that pipeline. Now, in a nutshell, Nvidia didn't just build fast chips, they built the entire environment developers work in. Universities teach it, research labs use it, startups depend on it. That kind of ecosystem is incredibly powerful. But history has shown us something about technology markets. Dominance never stays comfortable forever. And that's where Apple enters the picture.
Wait a second, Professor. Nvidia is the greatest AI hardware company in the world. Everyone says that. So why would Nvidia even be a little shaky?
Yeah, good consideration. And you're right to ask that question. Nvidia is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But sometimes the very thing that makes you strong can also limit how you see the future. You see, Nvidia optimized its entire strategy for AI running inside massive data centers. Huge GPU clusters, enormous training jobs, hyperscale infrastructure. And they are exceptional at that.
So if Nvidia is exceptional at that, where does Apple come in?
Aha, now we're getting somewhere. Apple looked at the same problem and said, what if the future of AI is not only in data centers? What if AI runs on your laptop, on your phone, right there in your pocket? That's a completely different design problem.
So Apple built something different?
Exactly. Instead of building a separate GPU card like Nvidia, Apple designed a fully integrated system. CPU, GPU, AI accelerators, memory, everything on the same chip. You might say Apple decided to build the whole orchestra instead of just the violin. And the software layer that drives this architecture is called Metal.
But CUDA has been the standard for years. Why would anyone move away from CUDA?
That's a fair point. CUDA is fantastic, no doubt about it. If you're training a giant AI model in a data center with hundreds of GPUs, CUDA is still the gold standard. But here's the interesting part. CUDA was designed for a world where AI lives in giant server farms. Apple's Metal is designed for a world where AI lives on billions of devices.
So it's basically cloud AI versus device AI?
Yes, that's a good way to put it. From the horse's mouth, Nvidia would probably say, give me a data center and I'll give you incredible compute power. Apple would say, why not bring that intelligence directly to the device? And that's where Apple's unified memory architecture comes into play.
What does that change technically?
Quite a lot, actually. With Apple Silicon, the CPU, GPU, and AI accelerators share the same memory pool. That means data moves incredibly fast inside the chip. Bandwidth improves, latency drops, power consumption goes down. And that's critical for devices like MacBooks and iPhones running AI all day long.
But Nvidia GPUs are still much more powerful, right?
Oh, absolutely. If you're running a giant AI cluster in a data center, Nvidia GPUs are like rocket engines. But here's the catch. Those rocket engines consume enormous power. An Nvidia GPU can draw hundreds of watts, sometimes more. Meanwhile, an Apple chip can run serious AI workloads using less power than a light bulb. So the question becomes, what kind of AI future are we building?
So Nvidia dominates the cloud, but Apple might dominate AI on devices.
Yes, that's the emerging picture. And when the next generation chips arrive, things like the upcoming M5 architecture, this competition might get even more interesting.
Professor, listening to you, it sounds like you are supporting Apple in this debate.
No, not really. And let me say this very clearly. I've never worked for Apple, I've never worked for Nvidia, and I have no affiliation with either company. I'm simply looking at the technology through my engineering glasses. And when you do that, you start seeing different architectural philosophies competing with each other.
Ah, I see. So when someone says one company has the only or best technology, we should be careful.
Exactly. Technology history has shown again and again that the dominant architecture today may not be the dominant architecture tomorrow. Sometimes the next big idea comes from a completely different direction.
Thank you, Professor. That gives me a really strong insight. In the future, when people say something is the only or best technology, I should look around and consider that other architectures might exist, maybe even better ones.
Yes, very good observation. Because in technology, competition of ideas is what drives progress. And once in a while, a new architecture comes along that makes the whole industry rethink everything.